We are going to talk about sustainability and how it relates to AWS using. And when Ari was talking, he was talking that he's having this kind of like lightning talk. This is not lightning talk, but this is not our kind of life work either. This is also a topic that we have been only like recently finding and learning. Like I think it was like 1 year ago when we discovered this. So yeah, it's all learning in this profession. But yeah, welcome. And why we decided this kind of topic is that we think this is very interesting since it combines a subject that is related to our values and it is combined to our professional passion tech. And this topic is also very widely discussed in public and that's why we thought it is very relevant to talk about this. And also, I have not yet heard anyone who is doing like an actual developing job talking about this. So I thought this could give kind of a new view to this topic. And yeah, let's go to the point. We shall introduce ourselves since no one probably knows us. That is because we come from Tampere.
And we also come from the furthest corner of the infrastructure stuff, like we are hiding.
Yeah. But yeah, here are some funny pictures of us. I heard that it is very common to show these kind of things when you start this kind of thing. I'm starting with myself. I'm this dude in the snow. I am a long time hobbyist of tech, and my like greatest passion in tech is web developing. But during my time in AWS, which is this 5 years I have been on this career, I have mainly focused on AWS. And as you can see, I have one amazing cert done. That was yeah. Anyone who has done a certification knows how tedious that can be. But yeah, Minna.
Yeah. So hello, Minna Vanhasalo. I needed 9 pictures. I'm a former teacher, so I used to teach Finnish. So one picture is 1,000 words. I need 9,000. I love talking. So basically, I just wanted to tell you that I love teaching useless tricks to dogs. I like competing, especially knitting, but also with Legos. And back in the work, we had last year's Lego Master, Minna, keeping us a team day. And we were competing, and of course, me and Anna and a third person won. It's an ecological, sustainable village on stilts. So, and I like growing weird-looking chilies that are rarities. I come from Lapland. I grew up in the middle of the swamps. I like pretty things because I grew up in the middle of the swamp. So Monet's garden on the right corner. And then there's a poem about birds. If someone's interested, we can discuss about the poem afterwards. And I love stories. This story is from a thrift store. So sustainability is close to my heart. I dropped a thrift store here. So I was just really intrigued that they had a sign saying, "Please do not eat nor feed raisins here." And I can't help but thinking, what happened before somebody decided to make a sign? So I love stories and I will be telling stories today too. But there's some tech too within my stories. But now, next picture. Yep. Here I wanted to paint a small picture of us. So our community center is in the housing development team. We have 14 AWS accounts that we are working more or less on a daily basis. Some of the applications are Etuovi and Vuokraovi, and then there's also application for professionals. And I've been working in Alma only 1.5 years, and I just wanted to kind of get a scale, like what's going on. I counted that I had more than 30 different profiles on my AWS config. So, yeah, BCB. Our closest neighborhood is consumer, and you saw Iltalehti, Baana, Nettimärkki, Ruokamaailma. Those are the applications that they are working with, and we have a lot of collaboration with them, and there are the other neighborhoods as well, but I wouldn't be bothered. They are probably in Helsinki and abroad, so didn't really go into that. And I found 264 AWS accounts. We are growing fast, 5 more than Ari. I might be incorrect too. This is not fully correct about our company, because here around our team we have sales, we have marketing, we have data teams, we have customer support, so everything is here that we need to do the #1 Etuovi application for people. So, and then the data people, they have like these kind of bus lanes, bits are going in between everybody, everywhere, all over the place. So there's a lot of collaboration across business units all the time. So that's the scale we are working with. Just wanted to paint a picture. Next one. And our interest in sustainability, Anna already mentioned in her start of the speak that it started from personal interest, the values, that we wanted to make a change. We wanted to take a minute and have a look, what can we do about this? Then it grew a little bit bigger. We said to someone that we are interested in this, and one thing led to another, and we were talking in an internal level up training. That is something that Ari is really passionate about, giving us talks and training us to be better every day. So we joined there, and then after that speech, we started discussing with Anna that, oh, this is not enough, that we talk to other developers, we need to start thinking company-wide, like what are the business needs, how we can make this a business thing, so that it's not like here, we are looking from bottom up. We need a higher level view, and maybe from top down, something needs to be done as well. It's not enough that we are passionate about it, we need more people. And now Anna will start taking more of a bird's eye view and tell us about the topic.
Yeah, let's start about the agenda of this talk. I will handle the first 3 of the topics, like general idea what is sustainability, also the motivation, why should we developers think about that, and also an important topic, how we can measure it and how we can kind of discover if our developing work is sustainable. And then Minna will do the heavy lifting with the actual tools and show the actually interesting stuff. So bear with me, I'm going to do some hand waving here. And let's start so we get to the interesting part sooner. So, motivation. Why does sustainability matter? I started this slideshow here with like really traditional definition of the word. So straight from Wikipedia, as you can see, you discovered this kind of quote that sustainability means that a process or state can be maintained at a certain level for as long as is wanted. And as you can see, it's not only environmental thing, but I have marked it more closely because of few reasons. Like one reason is that it is closest to our interests as the speakers, and also we feel like this is something we can do best when we are working with tech. And we are not going to go deeper with the other topics, but it's good to acknowledge that sustainability means more than just environment stuff. Then the actual motivations. I have marked here a few. The most clear motivation is probably the environmental issues, like all these things that are listed here. Many people are very motivated by their values. For example, us, like it gives us power to do our daily work and do better work when we know that these kind of things are handled with. Then we have these kind of like a bit more surprising things that get better when we think about sustainability, like technical profits. Like I'm not going to go too deep with that either, but we all probably understand pretty closely that doing quality work gets you like results. We want to do better work and do well. So it ends up happier developers and easier maintenance systems when we think about this. The last thing was the most surprising thing for me. Like sustainability is really closely related to money. So if you think about sustainability, it will end up costing less for us. So this is pretty amazing knowing this, that we don't think about this more, because as a company we usually think about money a lot. What is this noise?
I don't know. Just continue. Don't mind about me.
Okay. But yeah, let's start. Well, I started already, but let's continue with the AWS point of view. So, what AWS is doing and what AWS is expecting us to do about this. Yeah, I find this kind of thing on AWS site, and this is the shared responsibility model of sustainability in AWS Cloud. So it pretty clearly states the responsibilities of AWS and the users separated. And as you can see, like you can really clearly see that AWS is handling the kind of physical resources like servers and cooling, water, waste, electricity, efficiency of the physical resources, the servers, those things. AWS is expecting that we are going to handle the usage of the servers and the resources they are offering, and they are also expecting us to use this intelligently. And the fun kind of point you can notice here is that this line, of course, like moves the more managed the service you are using is. So if you want to do this easily, you can use a more managed service and kind of give more responsibility to AWS about this sustainability increasing thing. But if you use a very low service, then you need to also do more on your own. Then I have a second pick, that is the general shared responsibility chart about what are the responsibilities of the customer and AWS. And we discovered that these are like the same big physical resources, the usage of them. And there's nothing new about like thinking about sustainability here. It's the same thing. And that makes it even more amazing that we don't speak about sustainability more, because it is not that hard to handle them. Then I have added this kind of slide here to make a dramatic effect. I think it worked. But yeah, 10 more links from Amazon. These are the things that AWS has promised that they will do on their side. So they have told that they will increase the amount of renewable energy, also develop more cooling tech, and also using their resources more efficiently. And I don't have any actual data if they are doing it, but they have said that they will do, and they also talked about a lot it on their reInvent talks. So that is what they have promised to do, and that is kind of their part on this. Then what we need to do here, there are kind of 3 main high-level points. So our responsibility was to use the services in a smart way. The first kind of thing to think about is to use the correct services. So as an example, for example, we should think that we are not using a service that will waste kind of resources. For example, if we have a task that is run once a month, we don't want to use like 24/7 EC2 instance for that. We want to use, for example, Lambda that can be run once, and that's it. The second point is to use services efficiently. So if we need to use that EC2, after all, it should be sized correctly so that it is not run empty, and it would be like used as high load as possible. The third point is that we don't always need to use services if we don't actually need them. For example, there is no need to store unnecessary data if no one is ever going to look at them. Or, I don't know, a typical case for us would be that we are just standardizedly like putting some logs to CloudWatch and never watch them or use them anything. So that is just waste. There's no need to do that if they are not needed. That's about motivation. We will continue on like high-level topics for a moment still. I am by no means an expert on this topic I'm going to talk next, but I'm going to keep this short. I still thought that this is like important piece of knowledge to go over, because it will give us more perspective about how the whole sustainability process should be working in companies and in IT kind of process on how we do this work. So, sustainability is a kind of big thing. There are a lot of legal requirements that are constantly tightening. For example, EU has started requiring companies to report risks they see in like related to environment and such, and similar things are done in all over the world. That is not probably so interesting to us, but that affects our work quite heavily. The second one is not probably so interesting to us either, but that was just something that I found on that link that I'm there, that customers are very interested about sustainability, and actually in this link they stated that customers are even like willing to pay more if the product is sustainable. But then the third point here is something every one of us probably knows, that we wish to do better, like wish to do smart choices when we are building these systems that we need to maintain later. As some additional motivation, I wanted to show you that sustainability is also seen in company strategies. This is from Alma side. Since we are working there, it was natural to choose this. But as you can see, there are already like really concrete goals related to sustainability. And I have underscored this supply chain sentence there, like as to remind that it's not only our direct emissions that count, but also the ones that we are using. For example, AWS usage. We are nearing at the end of the boring part. Bear with me. But yeah, still want to talk about green-ups. That was like I discovered this word a week ago, and we. Like earlier in this presentation, I stated that money and sustainability, finances and sustainability are strongly linked. Like when we save money, we usually save environment at the same time. So this leads to having working practices when we are managing cloud costs is a strong base for sustainability as well. And this is like mind-blowing to me because I'm so used to kind of thinking that finances and environment are different things and kind of against each other. But in this case, they are working together. And that's why a useful kind of company tool for this is what we call FinOps. That is a framework for handling cloud efficiency and cloud costs. And some like companies that are kind of that are leaders of this, maybe, I don't know, kind of going forward with these kind of things, they are even call it green ops or having different teams for that are similarly as FinOps is trying to optimize the costs. They are trying to optimize the sustainability of the IT work. And they are kind of like same thing, since they are so strongly linked. But not all companies have that yet, or I don't know if that's going to be a thing. But this FinOps/GreenOps system is not something that you can just magically make it appear. It requires a lot of like work between different teams, and I don't know about your company, but at least I don't know anyone about finances, so it's very hard to collaborate with that kind of team. And of course it requires like effort from like effort, investment, all kind of thing, knowledge to create this kind of system. So I don't expect anyone here to alone do that. And that's why I have written these kind of questions here, that what kind of responsibility is it for a single developer to do sustainable work if you don't have this kind of like already working system for it. Also, can we do something together? What can be like done if you don't have that much knowledge? Minna had written the last question here. Do you have something to say about this? No? Okay.
Rhetorical question.
But yeah, we are going to try, like what as a developers we can do. First thing is to try to measure the sustainability. And I'm going to already warn you that it is hard. Like, there's nothing easy about this. But yeah, the key to make the change about this is to measure it. It's really hard to know where the problem is if you don't kind of discover it first. The second point here is that if you manage to measure it, you need to somehow deliver the message to people who can actually do anything about it. So don't forget that part. There are some actual tools that measure sustainability itself. The most kind of obvious one is obviously the customer carbon footprint tool. That is a very concrete tool to visualize the actual CO2 emissions of your cloud usage. It is very, very, very broad and not very exact tool, but it gives you actual numbers about it. Then we have the well-architected review that we are not going to talk so much about since the next talker wants to probably say something about that. But the sixth pillar of that, that is sustainability. And the fun thing that I wanted to just say is that I think it's pretty interesting that AWS itself thinks that this is so important topic that it is a concrete separate pillar there. Then there are several third-party tools. I have not used any of them, but I think it's like worth discovering them if you need some kind of like more fine-grained data than these other tools can offer. But yeah, there are many problems about these sustainability meters. It's difficult to find the kind of good tool. For example, the carbon emission tool, it only measures the carbon dioxide emission. So it doesn't tell anything about, for example, fresh water or, I don't know, to the human side of sustainability, whatever you want to know about more. So it only tells about the emissions. Then we don't have any kind of overall sustainability value that could be compared to anything. So it's hard to kind of find one number that tells it all. And then the third point here is that, as I already said, if we have these kind of tools, they don't have very fine-grained data. So you can only get rough estimate about all your usage and not where it is coming from. But as a solution to this, we and also the speakers of the event where we have discovered all this knowledge we are presenting here are proximeters. So we try to measure something that we can easily measure. And these tools that can be used to do this are the normal tools that we are using already all the time. Like performance tools, Minna is going to show you more about that a bit later. Logs, testing tools, and then the most surprising one, cost monitors. So if your cloud costs a lot, it is probably not sustainable either. That is surprisingly good tool for this. And since I wanted to do all this kind of hype speed word thing, I created this kind of word cloud. There are all kind of tools that I thought would be useful about this. And just reminding, when you have the meter, you should also bring the knowledge to people who can make difference. So you need to make some kind of message or create a ticket about the pictures that you find. I don't know, but yeah. Then the interesting part finally comes. You're welcome, Minna.
It's all interesting. So now I want to take it personal. So I will walk here. So as Alma said, it's about FinOps and GreenOps being two sides of the same coin. And for that reason, I want to talk about Compute Optimizer and Cost Optimization Hub. They give pretty much similar picture on the same topic, little bit different approaches. And first one is Compute Optimizer, and this one is from one of our more legacy account, which you can see pretty quickly, since we have EC2 instances, EBS volumes, no ECS services, no, two lambdas, 5 auto-scaling groups. So it's from 2011. It's one of the oldest ones Alma Media has. And I thought that it's a better example than having something recent that's Mint, because there's nothing that interesting to see. Here you can see that, okay, we have 443 services counted, only 14 of them are under provisioned. Many of them are optimized, but majority is over-provisioned. So, energy efficiency and money, they go hand in hand here, and this is, I think, a pretty good one look what's going on. But it's legacy, so we have to be kind to our legacy one. We have to understand it. We are migrating all of these to serverless, to lambdas, to event-driven architecture, smart architecture, taking into account good design and planning. So times have changed. But even if I've been only in IT for 4 years, I can recognize that this is not good. Here in the Compute Optimizer, when you view recommendations, then it will explain you very clearly like how much you are over provision, percentage, and also in money. So it clearly states that how much you can save if you change it to closer to optimal range. And what else did I have in my mind about this? This one is very simple to start using. It's just opt-in, and it's for free. The free tier only provides for 14 days. It will calculate and estimate the optimization based on 14 days. And if you have more fluctuating traffic on your service, then you can opt in for the pricing system, and then you get 93 days worth of data to find out that what would be the optimal level for you. I don't remember those numbers anymore. I counted that it doesn't cost that much to take the money option to get 93 days, but you need to look into that if you get interested on that. Okay, I think I'll skip to the next one because I will speak a little bit similar things on the next one. So the only limitation with this one is that it only has these 5 services, and this one was new. Like we had, what, 6 months ago, the presentation. It didn't have the licenses, so the new feature is that if you have commercial software licenses that you pay for, this one will check that if they're actually in use on that EC2 and let you know if you should do something about it, because it's a waste of money to pay for the license if you're not using it. So we don't have that problem here, clearly. Okay, so this is something I found on Tuesday. So this is going really fast. So Tuesday afternoon after coffee, I noticed that, oh, hey, cost monitoring. Anna said about cost monitoring, so I clicked it, and it said it takes about 24 hours. So yesterday after 2 o'clock, I started looking into this. What do we have here? I really like it. So, and this is also from the legacy account, so we will be kind with this one. So, I really like that it will tell you the recommended action, the implementation effort, is resource restart needed, rollback possible. There are the different resource types, and here you can see almost all the different recommendations it will give for you. So either it will ask you to have reserved instances or saving plans or right size, upgrade, migrate to Graviton, and the last one was stop idle or unused resources. We didn't have any of those on this account, so we've been tidying up quite diligently those kind of things. When it comes to the reserved instances and saving plans, those themselves, they are only for cost optimization, they are not really saving the planet. But the good thing, what I really like, that it will recommend that what should you use for it. So it will count based on, again, 14 days, that what would be the smartest choice for you. And what it's most excited about, it's Graviton. And I think you all know about Graviton. 60% more efficient performance, 40% less money, less cost for the same. And on this account, it had 60 suggestions migrate to Graviton. So I decided to have a look, like, okay, how much money will I save with that one? I would say a little bit under 200 euros. Every single one was implementation effort very high, so I'm not gonna do it. It's a legacy account, so realistically speaking, I will be wasting my company's money if I try to do something with this one. We really need to just migrate these ones to the new world. Then I compared it to a new account that has the serverless options, and on the new account, I could save the same money just by changing CPU and memory on some couple of Fargate services. I made the environment, I'm the guilty one, I over-provisioned heavily because psychological safety. I was so scared and worried, and I didn't know how to measure. I didn't know what will happen when it goes to production. So I really like these kind of flashlights that I get from both from the compute optimizer and the cost optimizer. When I'm doing the development, like planning and working on the kind of the difficult details, I don't remember any of this. It's not close to my heart, even if it's very close to my heart. So I like these because they're like flashlights that I can shine to my system and see better view, like what's going on, what can I do better next. About flashlight, you know the phenomenon when you're doing coding and then you make a typo and then you spend enormous amount of time trying to find the mistake. It's the flashlight effect. You are concentrating on the hard part and you don't see the easy part. So this is something I bring from my teacher background, that's what happens to us as developers, that we can't think of everything at the same time. And that's another topic that relates to what Anna was talking about. Is it really enough that I'm passionate about this one and I want to make these changes? Should we have more like a top-down approach, that someone maybe monitors these, maybe someone brings several accounts together, maybe so that we get graphs like how much money we are saving when we do something, or how much CO2 we are saving when we are actually doing something. And the hard part is that they are proxymetrics. We can get the money numbers from here, but we can't really get the good CO2 numbers out from here. Also, the problem is that on the one account where I would do in 1 hour the difference that would save 160 euros a month, it's only one account. Then I start thinking, is it really worth it? It's just a drop in the sea. Like, what's the point? And also the CO2 emission, like, is it that much really? Then I remember there's 264 accounts in Alma Media. And I start crunching the numbers. Even if on half of those is someone who likes psychological safety, I think there are places where we can save money. Or maybe they are brave people, but they just didn't think about it. Like they were concentrating on something else. The flashlight was some other part of the system. So I think we need a bird eye view, somehow to bring those numbers together and show that this is how much we are saving, and that's the incentive for the company. And then somehow make those numbers also into CO2 metrics, because that makes me happy when I see that I'm making a difference with my everyday work, and it's worth it on that one account to go and change the CPU and the memory. So that was my speech about that. Moving hopefully forward. Oh, I forgot to say, this one gives more services as well. So For the reserved instances, it has RDS, EC2, OpenSearch, Redshift, and Elasticage. And for the saving plans, it has EC2, Compute, and SaveMaker. So in addition to that, it suggests the saving plan. It will also describe you the recommended action and if it's low or high effort to go forward. Yes, so next Anna will show about the Carbon tool, some practical examples.
Yeah, we're nearing for the finish, but I already talked about this earlier, so it's just nice to show what is it all about. This was the tool that actually shows you carbon emissions made by your cloud usage, and this is a very high level estimate, but it gives you kind of a trend of like it going down if you have done the correct things. And this is not on by default, so you need to put it on for every AWS account separately. I think it was done from the cost optimizer or some kind of billing tab. I don't remember now. You need to discover that yourself. But yeah, as I already told you, it's not very fine-grained data, so it only shows EC2, S3, and other services as categories of usage. We shall see on the next slide. So here is our amazing legacy account again. As you can see, the EC2s are creating very big part of our usage. And then here you can see that the separated services that this tool gives, EC2, S3. This is curious why it's 0, one and the other. But yeah, in addition to that, it also shows which regions are kind of creating your emissions. So here we can see this is Europe, I think, and this is US, and this is Pacific, I think. I have no idea what we have in the US region, but that is giving us
probably health checks.
But yeah, then we have the actual emissions, and then AWS is also giving these kind of like savings. I think this number was like saving against of using some other service than AWS. I don't know how they calculate this, but
yeah, and we are
this number is more interesting to me personally.
Yeah, and we are a little bit suspicious about the big number.
But yeah, the interesting chart from this tool is this. So you can follow like how the emissions have dropped or risen, I don't know, against time. It is a very nice looking chart. As we told that this is a legacy account from which we are transferring services to other accounts, so this is not like so great as it seems, but definitely the drop is way higher than it would be. So it's not all the transferred services.
I think it's more about having several accounts, like collecting all those together on the active accounts that we are actually like really using and developing and improving and looking after, because this one is waiting for just to be emptied. But then we need the numbers from the real accounts put together and then see the change and difference, in my mind.
But yeah, about this graph, I wanted to still mention that I think this showed both your own actions and AWS's actions. So if your region has transferred into renewable energy, it shows on this chart, so you don't need to do anything. But also if you use less, of course, it shows in your emissions as well here.
Yeah, and my last words are that at the moment, from customers' perspective, they are indirect emitters that AWS is making. So that's why we are talking so much about the FinOps part of things, because we somehow need to think about that, how do we make companies interested in the topic and feel accountable for the emissions they are indirectly creating. So it's not on our backyard, but it's our earth. So we think we need FinOps and GreenOps together. I think we need a way to translate those proxy metrics into sustainability metrics, and then basically we need people to work together towards a common goal. We are working, like my daily life is taking care of infra, improving infra, making some new infra. This is a side hustle that we are interested in, and step by step, drop by drop, we are finding out more and kind of learning together what needs to be done. So it's more like that we have a dream that from all these drops from all these accounts, we want to make first little ponds and puddles, and in the end, some proper lakes. So people, let's make lakes together. I like cheesy endings too.
And we will end this
yeah, like don't ask anything from us.
Question. So just wanted to raise discussion that if you already have some kind of practices you do about sustainability, we are interested to hear about them. If you have any ideas, we are
Yes, please, on the back.